What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another match preview. It is our third game of the season. Watford at home, 2 o'clock kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But, you know, coming into this game, how do you assess Watford? How have they been the first 2 games of the season?
Very poor in the second game against Brighton, but in the first game, maybe whether it be first game back in the Premier League with a crowd behind them and stuff like that, they definitely had their tails up, stormed into a 3-0 lead. But then it's important to note, late in the game, they did concede 2 goals with 10 minutes to go, and could have even drawn that game. So I'd say Watford haven't been amazing since coming in the first 2 games.
They were good in the first game. I was quite impressed with them against Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think they played well, but they nearly let it slip. That's my point. So I think they'll buoyed, by the crowd adding extra energy to their performance. But I don't know. I feel like they were so poor in that second game against Brighton. They really didn't hold a glove to them, and they literally, especially the second goal, pretty much just gave it to them. More pie, stealing on the edge of the area. So I think as well, if you look at their team, they've made a lot of signings again, very much the Watford way, make a ton of signings, especially when they went up to the Premier League. It still had the likes of Craig Cathcart at right back. It doesn't bowl that well, so I think their defence is definitely gettable. And given how easy it was for Maupay to just steal in and score a second goal, you have to think you put them under pressure and they could crumble. And you saw that at the end of the Villa game as well. But with the pace they have up front, the likes of Sarr, like Dennis has made a good start as well, the new signing.
He's their real danger man, isn't he?
Ismaila Sarr on the right hand side. He's very hard to stop. Reguilon's going to have a tough time against him. The only way to stop him is to cut the source to him. And what Reguilon's very good at, which I've noticed, is those interceptions, getting in front of the defender and stealing the ball. And he's going to have to do that because Sarr likes the ball to feet more than he likes to play in behind, although he does do that a lot as well. And I think Reguilon is going to have to be very smart with how he deals with that situation, because he's clearly their biggest threat. But I think Reguilon could be the perfect kind of left back to do that.
Interesting. Would you have taken Sarr at Spurs this summer?
I think he's a good player. I probably would have. Yeah, I think he's, in terms of being in the rotation, I think he definitely has potential to challenge for the first team, and could even be potentially better than someone like Lucas. Seeing his young age. So I think he's a guy who's definitely improved his output massively last season in the Championship. Remains to be seen when he comes to the Premier League if he can replicate that. But I think he's a player with a very high ceiling. So I would have probably taken him at Spurs, but he would have commanded such a big fee. That would have been a big risk.
How much would he have cost? Because we're
50 at least.
50.
Yeah.
Would you rather him for 50 or Adama for 40?
I think Adama, just because Nuno knows Adama, and he offers something so unique that no one else can offer in the Premier League. And if Nuno can get his positioning right and unlock him, I think what Adama might be more worth our while than Sarr.
Interesting.
In a weird way.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, Danny Rose, our old boy, has gone there. Musa Sissoko just completed his medical. Apparently, he's going to Watford, so a few links there.
Yeah, the Sissoko derby, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit too early for Sissoko to play this one. He's not going to get a bit of a reception at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, unfortunately. But can Danny Rose play in this game? I know he can, but will he?
Messina played the last couple of games. Apparently, Rose did get man of the match there.
He
midweek.
did in the Carabao Cup.
So, in that in mind, I think there's a good chance we're going to see Danny Rose start this game. So, especially how badly they got beaten by Brighton, maybe they could look for a change. And I think with Danny Rose coming back into the side, maybe he'll be more motivated to have a performance in this one.
Yeah, last time they were in the Premier League, we actually didn't beat them, did we? 2 draws.
Yeah.
0-0 and 1-1.
Saving a penalty against Dini, I remember.
That was right. Oh, yeah, that's right. How do you reckon the best blueprint to go about this game? How should we set up? Should it be more how it was against Man City and Wolves, a bit more pragmatic, choosing our moments to spring on the attack, or do we press them into submission like we did against Passos?
Yeah, with Harry Kane going to be back in the side, apparently he's pretty much confirmed to be playing now. You got to say that we need to be. I think has the ability to really get the best out of their centre backs. I think he can really, with his smart movement, his physicality, I know Kabasele is quite a physical defender, but I really believe that Kane could really outsmart them and outmaneuver them. So I think we got to get that possession right to allow Kane to flourish. So I think a bit of a mid-block. I don't want to leave too much space in behind because that's where they really hurt us with their pace. You got to make sure you cut off the supply to their fast attackers. So you've got to have a bit of a mid-block and make sure you're in and around the penalty area as much as possible. And I think Spurs will dominate possession on Sunday. So that's my feeling. And I'd be tempted to even rest one of Højbjerg and Skip and put in a Lo Celso, or maybe put Lo Celso for Dele, just to have that more quality in possession and make sure that we're retaining possession in a better way. I'd be tempted.
And you know, we're saying, well, you just said Kane is more than likely to start this game or to play this game. Who comes out instead of him? You got Bergwijn, you got Lucas. I mean, Sonny's not going to come out.
I've got a weird feeling it's going to be Lucas. Weird feeling, only because he's the one who had a poor game against Wolves, or the worst game, and then in midweek as well. Came on and didn't really impress he started the game in midweek against Passos. Wasn't awful, but didn't have the best of games either.
I kind of agree with you,
So I got a feeling he's going to go with Bergwijn, because Bergwijn I think deserves the place more than Lucas.
You put Bergwijn on the right and Sonny on the left.
Yeah. Or maybe they can interchange, be a bit more fluid. Despite the fact that Lucas had that great game against Man City, which I don't begrudge him for. I think at the moment,
only as good as your last game, aren't you?
Kind of Bergwijn deserves the spot at the moment. I don't want to discourage Bergwijn because I think he's playing fair. He's playing all right at the moment. So I think he's the one I'd keep. Yeah, but that's the problem. Bergwijn's never naturally on the right that great. Son as well. Well, I might prefer Son on the right to Bergwijn in a weird way.
But do you not think there could be a possibility? Because we've been hearing it all summer. That Nuno wants to play two up top. We've been hearing all summer that maybe Kane to partner Son up top with a new winger coming in. I mean, can you see two up top tomorrow on Sunday?
4-4-2. It would be definitely a bit of change. Only reason I say no is because I just think we've been playing 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. On most of our games, except for the one we played 3 at the back against Passos. And I think it'd be just too much of a change. With last game before the international break and the transfer window closes, I think he's going to want some continuity going into the international break, and maybe he can work on that when players come back from internationals. I just don't think right now is the right time to change formation in this game. There's no need for it. We're a settled side, so I don't see the need to start change formation like that at the beginning of the season.
When you kind of look back at Watford, historically, they'll tell you a bit of a yo-yo side, keep coming up, going back down, coming up, going back down. Are they good enough, this squad that they've got there, to stay in the Premier League this season?
It's a tough one. I think they've got some good players, and I think attacking-wise they can frighten the life out of anyone. But I think they're going to be in a relegation battle again. I think they will. I reckon they could stay up, but I think at the moment, not only do they, I feel like the players, they've signed a lot of bending in periods. I never think it's a great idea for a team coming up to sign such a big amount of players. You've got to sign some players to improve you, yes, but you're signing 7, 8, 9, 10 players.
I said that about Villa last year or 2 years ago. And they did all right, didn't they? Well, they nearly went down.
They nearly went down. Yeah, it wasn't good. They just about stayed up, and now they obviously benefited long term. But Fulham did that a couple times, and they struggled. I don't know. Watford have done it before as well, and they've struggled. So I would say, I think also the players, to be fair, who are still there, like Craig Cathcart and stuff, I don't know if they're still up to Premier League football. Troy Deeney, is he going to get does he have 10 goals in him like he used to?
If they get 10 penalties,
yeah, maybe potentially. So I think might be one of my teams to go down.
I think they'll definitely be in a dogfight this year. I really do. I mean, when you look at other teams like Newcastle and Southampton, who we've said are going to be in a scrap, I mean, they look better than Watford in my opinion, squad-wise. And
look, but to be fair, they did get that win against Aston Villa, and I just feel like they got hit Villa at the right time, and I feel like once they settle into the season, they might start to struggle a bit more to gel and stuff. I think they relied a lot on individual counter-attacks against Villa, but whether that's a long-term solution, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and with the defence that's been so solid so far this season in the first 2 games, if they carry on with that ilk, if Skip and Højbjerg keep protecting the back four like they have done, I mean, surely you expect them to get no spare change off us.
Yeah, and I actually expect us to be on Sunday. I know I said I'd be tempted to put an extra midfielder like Lo Celso in there, but I expect Højbjerg and Skip both to start. And I'm expecting Nuno to have the approach where if we get solid defensively, our attack will be more than good enough to do the job going forward. So I think he's going to concentrate on making sure we're solid, making sure we're giving Watford absolutely no spare change whatsoever. And he knows if we get the ball to Son or Kane, then they'll do damage. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I was just looking up to see the Watford injuries. I mean, they don't... João Pedro, Kuka, Nathan Chabala, and Dan Gosling. I'm not sure how important these players are to them. Are they anyone of note?
Dan Gosling's not really. Who was the other ones you say?
Dan Gosling, João Pedro.
João Pedro's an attacking midfielder. He's one of their better players. So him being injured is a big blow for them.
He's been ruled out. Juraj Kuka.
I don't know.
He's going to have a late fitness test. And Nathaniel Chalobah.
Yeah, and he also in central midfield he can be quite an important player.
So they've got two of those players out.
Mostly João Pedro. João Pedro is a player who's Brazilian. He's like people compare him to Richarlison, and he's been their main attacking threat apart from Sarr of past year or so. And big things are expected of João Pedro, so they need him on the pitch. So it's good that he's missing for us.
What mentality are Watford going to come with? Are they going to come with like the kind of sit back and counter, low block kind of thing? Probably.
I'm hoping we'll force them into that. That's what I'm hoping for, and we can suffocate them.
If they are in a low block, and they don't leave too much space in behind or space at all on the pitch in their defensive third, do you think that it could be an option worth playing Bryan Gil?
Yeah, it could. It could definitely. But I don't. Again, I just don't see us changing formation just yet. But I definitely could be because he's one. We saw his link-up play with Kane on Thursday night.
They had something going on, didn't they?
They did. So I think there'll definitely be something to look at. And I think he's better in the tight spaces than someone like Bergwijn is. So I think he would definitely thrive in that kind of role. So it'll be interesting to see what Nuno goes with. But I don't see Watford being backs against the wall. I just see them maybe being forced into a deeper position than they would like to. They tend to like to be a bit more high pressing, Watford.
All right. What's prediction you think it's going to be? What are you going for?
I went for 3-1.
3-1.
3-1 to Spurs.
Yeah, my predicts. I went for 2-0. I can't see us getting too many goals, but I think that we haven't conceded yet this season. I'm going to stick with our defence to stay strong in this game, and I think we will get the 2 goals with Harry Kane back in the side and back starting. It's a massive, massive bonus for us, isn't it?
Yeah,
not just for ability on the pitch, but also for everyone's headspace and mentality as well, because everyone is always on song when Harry Kane's there. So I think that with Harry Kane on the pitch, it will give the whole team a lift. It will give all the fans in the stadium a lift. So I think it will be a good day at the Tottenham Stadium on Sunday.
I'm looking forward to it.
But I just want to say that it's important not to get too confident, because in these games when we get too confident we all know what happens.
Yeah, look, I'm expecting a win, and anything other than a win is going to be disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, we know that in the first 2 games we've only won 1-0. It's not like we've been wiped the floor of anyone yet. So I expect a game that's going to be difficult. But we if we don't get the win, then we're probably not serious challengers for the top 4.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. That is our match preview for the big game on Sunday. London derby against Watford, 2:00 kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I want to know your score predictions in the game in the comment section below, and I want to know your thoughts on the upcoming game in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.